So you're sitting in an interview and the person across from you says, so tell me what your biggest weakness is. And you're like, that's what we're talking about today. And it starts right now. Woo! What's up, growth fam? My name is Josh Lewis. Welcome back to the channel. If you are not subscribed, we got videos on communication, career, and confidence coming at you every single week. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into today's topic. So you are at a job interview and the interviewer asks you, what is your biggest weakness, or what do you think you need to work on? Let's talk about it and let's break it down. First, let's talk about what this question means. What this question means is they are trying to figure out two things. One, if you're self-aware, because no human being is perfect. Two, they are arrogant. So if you are self-aware, that is a plus. But if you are arrogant, that is not a plus. And honestly, it's a recipe for disaster if somebody were to hire you because an arrogant person doesn't believe they need to grow or get better. So interviewers, people who are bringing people on board, want to know that this person can be developed into somebody further. So if you're being asked, what is your biggest weakness? You want to be able to answer it effectively and be also self-aware and communicate that you are self-aware. How do you actually answer it? We're gonna get into that in a moment, but let's first talk about what not to say. That brings me to number two. The age-old advice to humble brag goes out the window. Don't do that here. That is not something you want to do. So for instance, someone will be like, yo, let me tell you what my biggest weakness is I work at least 100 hours a week. And people tell me all the time I need to stop, and I know I need to stop, but I just can't stop working. Don't do that, man. Because everybody knows what that tactic is all about. And that you're trying to play the reverse game of psychology on them by saying, if I brag about something bad that makes me sound really good, then it's really not a weakness. Don't do that, because every person who's interviewing knows that. They know exactly what you're doing, and it's not really gonna be a solid, concrete thing that they can actually jot down and say, okay, well, at least this person is self-aware or they're not arrogant or not. Make sure you stay away from things like that. And that is old advice, and it is old advice for a reason. Get rid of it. Don't do those things. Because what happens is it makes you seem fake. It doesn't make you seem real, because everybody's used to it. Let's go to our third step, and that is what actually to say when someone says, what is your biggest weakness? Tell the truth. Tell them what one of your weaknesses is. Now, with that said, make sure it is not your biggest weakness. So what I mean by that is you need to make it sound like there's a positive outcome coming from this weakness. And this is not to be misconstrued with what I just spoke about previously, where you're humble bragging about it, but the positive outcome is that you're actually progressively working on this weakness. This weakness, you either make it want to sound like it's situational, so it happens in certain situations, or you want to make it seem like it's personal. The thing is it cannot be connected to something that will hinder your ability to do the job. So let me give you an example. For instance, if you are on a sales job and they say, hey, what is your biggest weakness? And you say, well, I'm real shy, man. I can't go up and talk to people. I shake, man, when I talk to people. And if that is a weakness of yours, I got some videos that you can watch. However, don't share that type of weakness with them because it is connected to the job. So if you're on a sales job, you can say something, you know, I've noticed, I tend to be overly analytical. And when I don't get a sale, what happens is I get in my head a lot and I try and figure out the reasoning why, and sometimes I get stuck there. And this is the big point. This is what I want you to connect it with when you're answering this question. This is the next phrase that will help you answer this question. And how I'm working on that is, this is to suggest that there is a positive income. Not only are you self-aware, but you're growth-oriented. You're gonna fix the situation. No matter what's happening, you figured out what the problem was, and if you were over-analytical, you know what the problem is, and how you're working on it is this suggested reason. Because here's the thing, if somebody has a fault in them and they're progressively keep on doing that fault over and over and over again, it means there's little to no room for growth. So if that person has a fault, if they have a flaw and they're not working on it, what else are they not gonna work at their company? So this is a great opportunity when you get this question to be able to answer it confidently on something that is not directly correlated to the core integrity of the job, but make it situational, but something that you know that you need to work on. Be aware of it and tell them how you're working on it. See, the point of these questions are to make sure that you're actually aware of your issues and of your problems. Whenever a candidate is interviewed, we want to make sure that that person, if I'm hiring somebody, that person is coachable. If they are not coachable, what's gonna happen is that person is not gonna last in the company that long, especially if the company is growing. Because if you're growing, but the person is not coachable and they're not growing, that person's not gonna last. So the point of this question is to make sure that you're self-aware, not arrogant, and you're coachable. And by answering it in this manner, not only will you show them these things, you're gonna show them the best of you. And sometimes our weaknesses can be our greatest strengths. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you would like more videos on career advice, I got some right here. If you'd like more videos on self-growth, I got some right here. Please subscribe to the channel. We've got new videos coming at you every single week. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Woohoo!